Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to ACS Sneakers. My name is Aiden. On today's video, we are finally getting around to taking a look at the Nike Dunk Low in the Hyper Cobalt colourway. But before we get into all of that, I want to welcome back my returning viewers, and to any new viewers, welcome to the channel. We do release brand new sneaker content just like this each and every week. So do make sure to smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, make sure that bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the intro. So before we go ahead and dive into the shoe itself, let's just take a quick look at the shoe box. Now, as you can see, we just get that bog standard Nike cardboard box. And taking a look now at the label, which reads Nike Dunk Low Retro in the black Hyper Cobalt white colourway. Now, I actually got this in a size 8.5 rather than the standard 9 that I'd normally go with. Now, I'll get into the reason as to why I did that later on in the video. But with all that aside, let's go ahead and take a look at the shoe. I also just want to give a quick shout out to Brad as well, who actually sent over some prints for us. Massively appreciate anybody that takes the time to send anything over, and these prints are absolutely incredible. Probably couldn't have come at a better time considering we're actually reviewing a dunk on the channel today. So I will leave a link in my description area below to Brad's Instagram as well as his website. So if you guys want to head over and pick up some prints for yourself, please make sure to check out my description. And once again, I want to give a massive shout out to Brad. So getting straight into the shoe now, starting from the toes up. Now, the toe box has actually been constructed of this black perforated leather, which, to be honest, definitely leaves a lot to be desired. And I was really disappointed when I got the shoe. I can't even lie. The leather on the actual toe box of the shoe kind of feels like cheap plastic rather than any kind of leather that I've had. And I've only had a limited amount of dunks in my time, but I can safely say that this is probably the worst, just in terms of the overall feel and the overall material quality. I really do wish that they would have used slightly more premium materials. I think this shoe would have been a lot more well received if, they've actually just used the standard leather that they would normally use. But around the actual toe box of the shoe itself, here we have this really nice Hyper Royal leather, which actually wraps up through the mudguard as well as the eye stays as well. Now, on both the lateral and medial side of the shoe, we do actually have that standard Dunk Low paneling, and in the centre of this black leather panel, we do have the Hyper Royal Nike swoosh. Now, the leather like we see on the midfoot panel is pretty similar, almost identical to the leather on the toe box, so the same can be said in terms of the overall feel. Is pretty cheap, to be completely honest, but I do actually think the paneling looks absolutely incredible just at face value. This is just one of those shoes that I just had to have for my personal collection, and even though I'm slightly disappointed about the overall quality, I'm still going to keep it, I'm still going to wear it. And if anything, I'm actually going to wear this shoe more because I'm not really going to be too worried about, keeping this shoe for years and years to come. I just really want to wear this shoe and enjoy it for as long as I can do. And just like we saw around the actual toe box of the shoe, on the overlays, we have more of that Hyper Royal leather, which actually wraps right the way around the heel as well. As we take a look at the heel of the shoe, we just have that standard Nike Dunk heel. We have this leather patch at the top with the Nike embroidered branding. Really nice detail. The embroidery actually feels quite decent, and the shape is actually pretty good as well. I've seen quite a few pairs of these where the actual heel has been a little bit misshapen, and even though the quality of the shoe isn't the greatest, I'll be honest, I've actually not found many or any QC faults with it. There's the odd glue stain here and there, but that's pretty much to be expected. Moving down the shoe now, as you can see, we have this all white midsole, but then switching to the outsole of the shoe, as you can see, we have this Hyper Royal rubber outsole. Moving back into the centre of the shoe now, in the centre we do have these flat Hyper Royal blue laces, and the laces themselves do sit atop this black nylon tongue. But as we move up the tongue to the top, we do actually have the Nike branding in that Hyper Royal colourway, and then on the reverse of the tongue, we do actually have that Hyper Royal colour on the actual reverse of the tongue itself. But then just taking a look around the ankle collar and sock liner, around the ankle collar we do have more of that black leather wrapping right the way around, and then moving inside the shoe we have more of that Hyper Royal blue. The padding is pretty decent on the actual sock liner itself. There's a decent amount of padding, which is, pretty good. But it's not really going to reinvent the wheel. It's pretty standard. So if you've ever had a Dunk Low before, you pretty much should know what to expect. It's not as padded as an SB, as an example, in my opinion at least. But I do think it's decent enough, and I do think it is a pretty comfortable shoe. Taking a look now at the insole of the shoe, here we have this primarily black insole with the orange Nike branding. But just to quickly touch on sizing, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I did actually decide to go a half size down. Now, in the past when I picked up previous Dunk Lows, I've always gone true to size, and initially I did actually feel like that was the best fit for me. But the more I've worn them just day to day, the less I've actually liked the overall fit. And I just felt like my foot was moving around too much in the actual shoe. So I went down a half size and it feels a lot better for me. The whole fit just feels a lot more secure and my foot kind of feels locked into the shoe. So depending on how you guys decide to wear your shoes, if you want that true to size fit with a little bit of extra room in the toe box, just go with your natural size. But if you do like more of a tighter fit and a more secure fit like I do, go a half size down and you won't really have any issues. Now I do actually want to throw it back to the last time I did a Dunk Low review, and it was of the black and white colourway. Now, in that video, I used a pretty bad analogy, and I said that the Dunk Low is starting to feel like the Air Force One. A lot of people got upset with me, and they really misinterpreted what I was actually trying to say. To be honest, it was a bad analogy, and I can completely get why it was misunderstood. Now, what I actually meant to say and meant to kind of convey to you guys is that every single week we're seeing a brand new Dunk Low release, and with every single release that we're seeing, the hype is just getting less and less and less. Now, this colourway, if it released in 2020, the resale price, God knows how much it would be. Even though the materials are quite shoddy, it would just be going for a heck of a lot more than it actually is right now. I had a quick look on StockX and I saw that the resale price for the smaller sizes like your US 4, US 5, they're going for decent amounts of money like £240 and £250. But in the bigger sizes like your 7 and above, they're going for about £20 to £30 above retail in more sizes. So this shoe is definitely a lot more readily available than any other Dunk Low that I can think of. And this shoe actually sat on retailers like JD until late afternoon. I think I managed to get mine about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I managed to get my son a pair as well. And I definitely can safely say that there was no footwork required to actually get this pair if you actually wanted it. So for any of you casual buyers out there that are just wanting to actually pick up some Dunk Lows for your personal collection, it's a massive win for you as much as it is for me as well. The fact that you're not having to put in as much footwork to actually get the shoe when it actually does release, and even if you don't manage to cop on release, the fact that resale price is sitting in most cases only £20 or £30 above retail is just massively a good thing for a lot of people. And I would just love to know your guys' opinions on the future of the Dunk Low. Do you think it's going to continue to drop in resale price, or do you think that it's going to get a sudden surge around, lockdown being lifted? There are lots of things to consider. The fact that, we've been in this constant lockdown situation here in the UK for a long time. So when we get into the summer months, will this go up in retail price? Maybe. Just make sure to leave all your comments in the comment section and we can discuss it there. Now that just about wraps up the overview of the shoe itself, so if we now go ahead and get straight into my opinions on the shoe. So just to wrap up this video and give you guys my overall opinion on the shoe itself, I do give the Nike Dunk Low in the Hyper Cobalt colourway a pretty respectable 7 out of 10. Now for me, even though the materials on the shoe are pretty subpar, I'm still going to keep it because the colourway is something I can wear all year round, whether it be spring, summer, winter, autumn. It's just an all year round shoe. It's super easy to match up to most outfits and really doesn't take too much thought into, how and when I'm actually going to wear it. But I'd love to know your guys' opinions as well. So if you managed to pick up this shoe, do make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you stuck around to this point in the video, I want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please make sure to smash that subscribe button. Also, make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one.